What I like about Teal Swan, Part 4. Courage, which I think is another name, especially in Teal's case, for authenticity and self-awareness, because it takes a lot of courage to really understand yourself and to transform yourself and to be aware at a high level. I mean, I was a therapist for a long time, and I think Teal is essentially kind of a therapist in a different way. She's a therapist in a YouTube setting, perhaps, or in Costa Rica setting, because she's kind of like helping people understand the psychology and both their positive and areas to work on. She's very into truth telling, but in terms of like positive growth. And I think Teal has kind of transformed her own life. I mean, she came from an abusive, severely abusive background, and she hasn't let that, embitter her. It's emboldened her to like go through her own growth. And I know for myself, like I've had an extremely challenging life also, and I think it's made me a strong person and a good person. I was always a good person, but I think kind of like dependent upon others, and now I'm very, I wouldn't say independent because we all need other people, but I don't form my value based upon what others say or do. I listen to others and I relate to others and have good relationships with them, but I don't have to try to be what they want me to be. So for Teal, I think that there's a lot of courage in this world. Like when she talks about the pandemic and all the forces that we're facing, I mean, it's hard to be authentic in a world in which you have a lot of stimuli that are kind of prodding you to be, a facade. I mean, she's able to cut through that a lot and show how like a lot of the narcissism and intolerance and hatred sometimes in the world is really a lack of love and a lack of awareness of our own spiritual nature. I mean, Teal's done a lot of episodes on chakras and higher levels of spirit and Akashic records and other kinds of like high level growth, spiritual development type issues. And I think that I really like Teal because I think she is down to earth, but she's also very spiritual. She understands like the spiritual grounding and nature of this world. I think that without that, you just become kind of lost. It's kind of like being out in the ocean by yourself versus having, an ocean liner or at least a rowboat, something to cover you, something to, protect you. And I think that the spiritual grounding, I think, does that. I think, another thing that comes to mind is trust. Like, I think Teal is a person that you can trust because I think when you're at a high level of self-awareness, then I think you realize that your own interests are intertwined with other people. I think a lot of people are more coarse and kind of manipulative and self-serving. And I think, self-serving is an interesting term because what serves you in the short term is not what serves you in the long term. Like if you try to take advantage of people, you really just turn the energy towards limiting yourself and your own opportunities, because really successful and loving people don't want to be around others that are that way. So I think kind of in sum, I think Teal is very courageous to have faced the difficult things in her own life and come out the other side. There's a story in the Bible about the two individuals who went through the fire. In that case, literally. I mean, obviously that would kill you in real life, but and it says that when they came out, they didn't even smell like smoke. And I think that is the key in life, to go through what you have to go through, and if you can really transform it in a way, then it's kind of like when you come out of the trials of fire, you don't even smell like smoke. I mean, there's not even a sense that you are still, burdened or scarred by the things you went through. And I think Teal is a very courageous person for that, and I give her a lot of credit.